Hello, I want to try something. So I got to thinking I want to present all of you with a little bit of a challenge. An animation prompt meant to challenge your animation, filming, and blocking skills. I present to you Judgmental Critters' Animation Challenge. I've discussed several RWBY fan animations already. Check out the full playlist to watch all of those really cool videos and give all those really cool animators the love and attention they deserve. But for those reviews, I just picked some well-known fan animations and cast my judgment upon them. This time around, you'll be going out of your way to create something with my judgment in mind. So yes, anyone can participate in this challenge. Here's just a few ground rules. Remember, ignore the rules, you get ignored. Number 1, I want you to recreate a scene from RWBY you think can be improved upon. Specifically the animation, but importantly, it cannot be a fight scene. Fight scene animation is difficult and exciting, but I specifically don't want anyone to recreate a fight from RWBY. While you could definitely make an argument that there are a bunch of fight scenes that could be improved upon with different choreography or camera work, I don't want to focus on that right now for a number of reasons. First, Cake Station had a fight animation contest really recently, but I don't want to just wholesale rip off what they did. But second, it's actually pretty easy to cheat with fight animations, because the characters are moving a lot and the camera tends to move around a lot. It's really easy to hide certain clipping errors or wonky off-model things, but I want this challenge to really focus on the little details. I want you to recreate one of RWBY's sitting around and talking scenes, which, in my opinion, are the scenes that need the most help. Any animator, storyboarder, cinematographer, and scriptwriter will tell you that creating a talking head scene is one of the most difficult things to do and make it still visually interesting. I spent a lot of time in film classes at university, and I kid you not, like 99% of what every single class talked about was trying to make dialogue scenes interesting to look at. And there's honestly a lot to think about and that I want to discuss. Using the rule of thirds, looking at the lighting in a scene. What are the characters doing with their bodies and hands while they're talking? Making sure the person who's not talking in the scene is still doing something with themselves that's interesting. So yes, rule number 1, recreate any scene from RWBY that you think can be improved, but not a fight scene. Now then, number 2, it doesn't need to be fully animated. Animatics can also work. The other fun thing about not doing a fight scene is that there's going to be a little bit more leeway when it comes to how you want to present it. If you want to do something that's more akin to an animatic or a storyboard presentation, then by all means go for it. The important thing is to recreate the scene and improve it somehow. Just make sure all the characters are recognizable. Number 3, don't change the context of the scene. For example, if you want to reanimate Weiss telling Yang about her mother, you can't put them in like the middle of Atlas, right? The girls were in Haven during this conversation. You don't need to keep the girls in this room if you don't want, but they have to be somewhere that still makes sense based on what has happened in the story. You want to reanimate Raven talking to Weiss and Yang? Well, you can't act like Raven is a teacher of theirs at Beacon or something. You understand? Be fun, get creative, but don't change the story into a headcanon or AU or something. The context of the original show has to be the same. Number 4, your submission needs to be at least 1 minute long and at max 3 minutes long. So you don't have to do a full scene recreation, it can just be a piece of a conversation or whatever. And finally, number 5, you don't need to use the audio from the show if you don't want to. So yeah, however you want to go about presenting your recreation is sort of up to you beyond this point. You can use the in-show audio if you want to, you can record your own audio, you know, in case you would have preferred a line of dialogue to have different delivery and you think you're up to the task of voice acting. Or if you can recruit others to do voice acting for you, you can. Just make sure everyone who works on a project all gets proper credit in the end. Hell, you can have no audio and just use subtitles if you want to. And other than that, Have fun. Really, the sky's the limit. I want you to really push yourselves and be as creative and expressive as you want. For your submissions, here's your options on how to get them to me. Either you can post it to YouTube, and if you do, make sure you tweet at me about it. My Twitter is on screen. You can also send me a DM if you don't want it to be public. Or if you don't want to do it that way, or there's a copyright claim or whatever on your video, you can also email it to me. If you email it to me, make sure you include the word Annie Chow in the subject of the email, spelt just like this. It'll just make organizing my emails a lot easier. Final thing, the due date is June 5th. That's right, I'm gonna give you approximately 2 whole months to work on this challenge. So you will have plenty of time to refine your animation, your concepts, figure out your blocking, camera angles, all of it. I know pre-production and production always takes way longer than anyone expects it to, so I wanted to make sure you had plenty of time to get it all figured out. So yeah, abide by the rules and have fun. I'll post a couple of reminders between now and June 5th, and yeah, I hope anyone who participates has fun with it.